Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to First and Ted. We're excited to welcome Aaron back, but guess what, guys? He's a little bit stage fright now. He's been away for a little while, and he doesn't want to show his face. And that's fine, Aaron. I won't take it personally. No, just kidding. Aaron's having some technical difficulties, folks, and he is such a trooper. He decided to log in from his phone, so at least we could do some sort of semblance of a show. So, Aaron, thanks for doing that. Thanks for making the show. We don't have a ton of time because it took us a while to figure all this out. But we got almost an hour here that we can chop it up, talk a little Niners, talk a little latest news, rumors, what have you. Whatever else is on your mind, I'm down to chat. So, Aaron, you know Aaron at 49ers First Takes. Me, I'm Ted H6 and Ted Talks Ball. Together we are First and Ted. We normally do Wednesdays at 3:30 Pacific, 6:30 Eastern. But this week I had booked over it before we knew that Aaron was coming back. So we'll probably resume that schedule next week of Wednesday shows.
Yeah, and for anybody in the chat who knows anything about computers, the MacBook isn't reading the USB connection. So if you guys have any tips and tricks, I don't know. Hit it on my Twitter if you can. But yeah, it's we're doing it on the phone. I don't really like doing it because I like to show everybody my trinkets and stuff. But yeah,
got a super cool studio that he works out of. Lots of glowing.
I had another glowing thing that I bought, but it was literally too bright for the camera. Like you would see it, and it was just like
that one, the big one that you bought off Fanatics. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll wait until we get a real camera to do that one. But
I requested a nice SF one from my wife. I think I showed it to you, and a janky version of it. I requested the expensive version from my wife for Father's Day. We'll see if that comes through. And then I was thinking about getting a Warriors something light, but dude, like, come on, like we're down 0-2. If we lose tonight, it's basically over. No team's ever come back from being down 3-0 in the playoffs. So I may hold off on any Warriors purchases pending the game, especially with no Draymond. I know it's going to be rough. Should we call some of the folks in the chat? We had Luke Luna was here early. He was here almost half an hour before showtime. Said, love you, bro. This is to Aaron. I will be working, but got the first like and the first comment on the show. So thank you, Luke, for that. Payout time was early too. It was about 3 minutes before showtime. He said, hey, Ted, Aaron, have a great stream. We'll pop in and out as doing dishes. Haha. Thanks, Payo. We appreciate it. Raphael562 in the house. What's up, Aaron, Ted, and everyone? And it would be Raphael if the next tweet wasn't like and subscribe, everyone. And then I was letting everybody know we were having technical difficulties. Ramilia Sports Report in the house says 1994 technology. Yeah, Ramilia. If it's been that long,
1994 she's trying to make a crack. That's the last time he won a Super Bowl.
Yeah, but if it's been so long, then why haven't the Rams caught up, Aaron? Why don't they even?
Why can they only get one championship?
Huh. Yeah, exactly. And then they've completely imploded. Not only last year,
they have almost $80 million in dead cap that they can't use. So
it's definitely not looking good for them in 2023 either. Nope. He likes to say that they still have their core three, though: Aaron Donald, Stafford, and Cooper Kupp.
Wow,
but that's not all they got. I mean, they got no O-line, they got no linebackers, they got no DBs. It's pretty ugly.
That's the price you pay when you go all in, man.
No doubt. Bill Keveni says, "Cheers, Aaron." Says,
appreciate it, brother.
I think tight ends need to protect the QB. What say you?
A little bit. Maybe put a foot out if you can't block them. Maybe trip them. Like, don't. Like, come on. Yeah, we'll never get over that one if we this window of players doesn't end up getting it done. We're going to be like, if we just would have blocked the tight end would just block. I don't know if that would have, I think the Niners would have been competitive in that game, but we don't know if it would have been a different game outcome. The Eagles are a really good team.
I'm with you. I'm not going to say we would have won for sure, but we certainly would have been close. And I think, it could have come down to whoever had the ball last type of game. I think Eagles and Chiefs both, we could have beaten either of those teams, I think. Ramilia here is not a Warriors fan, but I feel like the refs are screwing them. Absolutely, we got screwed in game 2. Game 1, it was not too bad. It was sort of like, it wasn't fixed. It was facilitated by the refs. But game 2, it was an absolute shank job. And I don't want to go too much into the Warriors because Aaron's not a big basketball fan. But ultimately, Sabonis impeded Draymond 3 different times. And on the play where Draymond stomped him, which, he's chest bumping and hanging off the rim after that. Like, what an awful stomp.
Right.
He had basketball plays in a row to create that. And a lot of people are just saying, dude, you got what you deserve by doing that. It was dirty, not basketball plays. Peo Time's back. He says, hey. Says,
hey.
Love that. I mean, Aaron's a legend. I'm just, making my way here, trying to get started. So Paul Hope says, let's go. Third TED Talks ball for me today. Well, geez, Paul, you missed one, man. What's going on? This is my fourth. I had Grant Cohn early. I had Lee Gowland and Chris Wilson in the middle. And I messed up the timing with Lee and Great Britain. He gave me a military time. And luckily, they were both able to flip-flop, and we got it all together. So Ryan from No Border Sports in the house saying, what up, everyone?
What up, Ryan?
Says Peo getting dragged. Oh, no, I think we were dragging Ramilia Sports.
No, we were definitely dragging Ramilia. Peo's a good guy.
Yeah.
Ramilia puts it out there for us to crack on him. So
and it's part of the back and forth. It's all good.
Ramilia
is somewhat respectable about it anyway, so I can't give him too much grief.
Just sports. Just ain't if you get personal, that's one thing, but it's just sports. Who cares?
Hey, Paul, he says it's 11:25. He's already making excuses about having to watch back. I mean, dude, that's what coffee's for, man. Come on, you can do it.
Me being out of work, dude, I had coffee at 10 o'clock last night, playing video games after tonight. Who did I think I had a stream with Raj that went a little late. And that was I had to drink coffee right before the stream started because it was a 10 Eastern stream because it works for him on Tuesdays. No, that was 2 days ago, not yesterday. And, because I'm not working. Once I go back to work, that's it. No more coffee. You know what I mean? I'm taking care, or I'm letting myself, let it all hang out right now as I'm not working. So
all the days blend together. So it's one long weekend for Aaron right now.
Oh yeah, baby. No kids, no wife. It's good stuff.
Except for probably no PT on the weekends, I'm guessing.
No, but the knee's pretty good, man. I was doing some leg lifts today, or not leg lifts. The thing where you push, like the big plate of metal that weights.
Leg press.
Yeah. No ill effect, man. It's good stuff.
Good. Yeah, I mean, I tweeted to Aaron today. He tweeted that he was working out at the PT.
Ask me if I was probable or doubtful.
Yeah, I was like, make sure they take it easy on you, man. I need you okay for the show today. I mean, not your long-term health. Let's not worry about that. It's like me today, now. What do I?
Yeah, we don't care about what's going to happen in 3 weeks. We're all about the show.
Yeah, cut that meniscus off. Whatever you need to do. I don't care about your quality of life or the length of your career. We need you in game time today. Kickoff. That's it. Period. Same thing. Just like why we got mad at Raheem Mostert. It's like,
I'm not even getting started on him, Mr. Glass.
So long-term health. No, I mean, I'll never condone death threats or anything like that or threatening people's families. This is all joking, folks. I hope you know. That was a little bit of attempt at humor, but sometimes my humor is a little weird. Peo's saying, haha, no regrets. I'm excited for Rams' future, but let's hear about your Niners. Oh, yeah. I mean, everything's perfect in Ninerland. I mean, we're just trading Lance, Ayuk, Kinlaw, and Mitchell, and Adam Peters, our star scouts, walking.
Getting rid of anybody that has anything to do with our success. We're shipping them all out of town.
Yeah, Parag Marathe, he's taken over a soccer team over in England, but yeah, he could do that job from here. Yeah, no problem.
Right.
Yeah, sure. Raphael562 says, what's up, Ryan? They're just saying hi to each other. Smash that like button. Yeah, like and subscribe to me and to Aaron, 49ers First Takes. That's him on Twitter and on YouTube. And actually, TEDH6 on Twitter and YouTube works for me too, or you can just type in TED Talks Ball. Either way, we appreciate that. Peo's got a question. Any concerns of Sam Darnold injury history?
I don't think so, because I mean the plan for him is not to play. So
right.
if he was coming in as the starter or competing to be the starter, always with the Niners, injury history seems to be a concern. Even with guys that come into the NFL with no injury history, seems like when they get to the 49ers, all of a sudden there's some nagging concern that they have to deal with on a week in and week out basis. But not really. If, like I said, if he was a starting quarterback, then I would, it would definitely, of course. But Niners have two quarterbacks that are injury concerns already. So I'm more worried about those guys. And if we're even going to have one of them come late April. So, but we'll smash on that one in a bit.
There you go. Yeah. I mean, I'd just say Darnold's had some injuries, but, it's a concern, but it's not a huge concern. Like you said, hopefully we never see him anyway. Your parody account is here. I don't know if you've seen the new one, Aaron. Mid carding it up.
Mid carding it up, baby. Yeah, baby. That's Steve Supremo. He loves them. He was messing with me on Twitter.
He has a million accounts for sure.
Yeah, mid carding it up.
Some of the ones we thought were him may not be though. So
yeah,
he was on a live feed. He was walking around outside with me on a phone, and like some of the ones I thought were him were commenting. So unless he's got automated bots doing that.
I'm thinking is he probably had a tab open. If he was on his phone, maybe
and he just hit send after he typed them up.
Like he's got different tabs with the same show.
That's smooth. That's smooth. All right, I like it.
He's going with the mid card. That's what I am, man. I'm a mid card streamer, man. I'm not a top guy.
Well, for now, but I'd say never say never. I think you got the talent to do it. I believe in you, so we'll see. Paul says, great to have Aaron back. Absolutely.
Thank you, Paul. I appreciate it. Yeah, Paul's like, enough of you bitching on Twitter. Get back on YouTube.
No, and I said lots of people say absence makes heart grow fonder. I said lots of people say silly things, but I did miss Aaron a lot. Really glad to have him back. So it means a lot. Bill saying, do we know the word on Trey is if Purdy is not ready, we are in trouble? You want to go with that first?
Yeah, I mean, right now, there's a lot of talk that the article that he was quoted in is saying he might not be ready for the season was something that was a little bit taken out of context, is what a lot of people are saying now. But if I see that comment in an article where his health is being questioned by the person who's interviewing him, and that's the words that are coming out of his mouth, of course I'm going to be a little bit, a bit concerned, because let's be honest, he earned the right to be the starting quarterback come the 2023 season based on how he played not only in the regular season but in the playoffs. And now with his injury, possibly, we don't know. We have no idea what the prognosis is going to be. He's supposed to be able to start throwing by June. And, John Lynch says it's parameters. Kyle's more like a negative. He says maybe we'll see him by like late October, whatever. And then with the Trey Lance situation, with all the talk that he might be leaving town. Yeah, I mean, both of them are concerning to me. I really, man, it's right now. It's, they always say it's lying season. There's a lot of stuff going on this time of year. And if you guys notice, if any of you follow me on Twitter, I tweeted something today about, listen, there's like a lot of talented content creators, but everybody's trying to scoop everybody right now. Everybody's trying to have the receipt just in case something does happen. They could say, I called it. I told you. Like, that's what's going on, right? There's a lot of that, like a lot of infighting, not necessarily like people going at each other, but like listen, man, when you're in that racket and you're doing good, you want to be the guy that breaks the story. So like, you almost want to have a pulse on every single thing that's out there. So yeah, definitely concerned. Right now, I'm not super concerned about a lot of stuff because the draft hasn't even happened yet. Once the draft is over and, we have, rookies come in and then we have, some of the OTA stuff, then we'll start to get a better feel of who's ready and who's not. And, hopefully we get reports as the offseason goes on that Trey Lance is killing it if he's still here. I don't know, Ted. I don't see him being traded. You can't, right? you can't trade him with the questionable future, and then you have what's his name? We just talked about him.
Sam Darnold.
Sam Darnold is your only other quarterback. You can't trade him, right?
No, I mean not unless there's a haul of picks, kind of like what we gave up to move up, and no one's doing that. So no, you can't trade him. He's there's too much draft capital. There's too much potential, and there's too much dead cap. Quite frankly, as far as money that we're going to pay him either way, you might as well have him available to play. And I disagree with the comment that we're in trouble if Trey Lance has to play. I mean, I think Purdy's better, but I don't think he's as better as the stats look because Lance didn't have CMC and he barely had Kittle.
Right.
And he played when the team wasn't playing well. So I don't know.
And we went through this with Garoppolo. We all fell in love with him after 5-7 games, right? And then the league kind of had a book on him. As much as I like Purdy, and if you ask me tomorrow who I'd want to start a game, if we had a game to play, if they were healthy, if we were in like a hyper bowl of just everybody's healthy, everything's good to go. Of course, I'm going to say him only because he played so well down the stretch. But I mean, Trey's going to get his one last crack at this, and if he does well and they're winning, you can't take him out and say, well, it was never his job to have. We're 5-0. We're going to put Purdy back in. No, you're going to keep him in there. And hopefully he never takes a step back and you never have to confront that situation. And then you just have a really good backup. But right now, I'm not entirely worried. Ask me in late July when training camp starts and we're still having a lot of questions. And there's not a lot of rhythm as far as guys practicing with starters and getting a lot of just overall chemistry. Then I'll be worried. But right now, let the draft come and go. If Purdy stays, if Lance stays, that's our next. Let's get past that first. The draft, 3 days. Hopefully everything's good. Not saying that Lance can't be traded after the draft for picks, but we'll see. I'm not entirely worried.
There you go. Yeah, I just think we want Lance to get some experience. So come playoff time, we have the strongest QB room possible. The worst thing you could do is put Purdy in week 1. He plays well all season. Lance waits. Then Purdy gets injured by the end of the season or the playoffs, and you got to thrust Lance in there when he's, hasn't improved a lick, and you're just in trouble. So I really hope Lance gets a chance to show us what he can do. We'll see, though. I definitely am rooting for both. I like Purdy. I like Lance. I'm not hating one because I like the other. That's for sure. Aztec MC says, Aaron, you should go hang out in Hawaii with Trey Lance.
Yeah.
Did you see that whole kerfuffle?
I'm trying to figure out. Well, because you got people saying that he's down there and he's not practicing. And then you have people saying they're old pitchers and all that stuff. Listen, man, first of all, if I'm going to Hawaii, I'm going to need a massive amount of sunscreen because, I can tan a little bit, but I'm a ginger. You got to remember. So if you guys, as long as you guys are okay with seeing me become a different person, kind of like Michael Jackson, where I just look completely different in about 2 weeks for the rest of my life because of all the sun, then yeah, maybe I'll go hang out with him as long as he's paying for everything.
There you go. Yeah, I was sad to see Jack get dragged on that, but I think some people were happy about that. I guess you got to be careful what you report when you report things as facts. You got to check your sources, your sources, make sure you're not. Check those sources. Bill says, do you know if Trey is ready? Purdy will need rehab post-injury. We don't know. Trey hasn't been cleared to play yet, to my knowledge. Do you know about that, Aaron?
Haven't heard anything about him being cleared. No, I have not.
And I just don't think it's something we will do till OTAs would be when I think would be the appropriate time. There's nothing to miss at this point. Physical. Bashar says, yo, Ted and Aaron, driving now, but you got to say what's up. Thanks for checking in, Bash. We appreciate it. Randy Daytona here. Fear the roar, Ted. Ahoy, Aaron.
Ahoy.
And he always gets it wrong. It's feel the roar is the King's motto, along with light the beam. Huge pivotal game tonight for both
Yeah, they
teams. No
better light that
Draymond.
beam today.
If they light the beam, it's all over. If the Warriors go down 3-zip, it's. I'm saying put a stick a fork in us because no team's ever come back. It doesn't mean you can't. It just no team ever has. So, and the other problem is whatever teams have done in the past, like the Warriors have come back from 3-1 down a couple times, once against OKC and once against Portland. But we had home court advantage both times to where we had more team games at home than the other team did going on the stretch. Whereas here, we got 2 in Chase Center and then 2 at Golden One and only 1 more at Chase Center in between. So, they have a 2-game lead and only and 1 more game or 1 less game, but we have to make up 1. Anyway, the bottom line is it's tougher the way it is right now because we don't have home court. Raphael saying hi to folks. Everybody saying hi. Andrew Martinez in the house saying anybody ever order a residency hat and they sent the wrong one.
I don't even know what that means.
Residency is one that like Raj and some of the folks wear. Paul Hope, they have the kind of the funky SF. It's not like it's not an official Niners logo, but a lot of the content creators wear them. But I mean, if it's any apparel company, I'm sure they get orders wrong from time to time. That's probably, it's more about how do they handle it when they get it wrong. Are they good about return? Rudy hangs out in every Niners chat. Well, poor guy. Rams don't have any good content creators, so what are you going to do?
There's Rudy, or not Rudy. There's Peo Time. He's really good.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. That's true. All right. You're right. Peo's very good. So bite my tongue. So they only have 1 good content creator. And, if Peo's not streaming, then come on over and watch us. Why not? So sister ordered a hat from Residency. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure a lot of them are right. The question was if anybody had a wrong order. I've been trying to get a hold of customer service for over a week and no response. There you go. That's what I'm talking about. It's not necessarily do they make a mistake, but how do they handle it when they do? Andrew Martinez, Rams run the chat. No, Ramelia. All the Rams do is run their stars out of town. So good luck with that. Ryan says mid-card gang for life.
How bad, baby. That's what we are. Mid-card. You got to accept. Dude, you got to embrace the suck, man. You got to embrace the suck. That's what you got to do.
I love it. Peo Time says, have a great stream. Bless you both in your content creation. Grant had a new word for it today. He said that we're multimedia journalists. So we got to start using MMJ now.
I ain't no media guy. I am a journalist. Because if I was, I'd be doing, I'm just a dude, just a fan.
There you go.
You're a journalist. So you fit under that.
I write articles during the season. I write preview and summary articles for the Niners, for Grant, for SI about the Niners, and I should do something pre-draft and post-draft too. I just haven't done any draft prep yet, so I'm woefully behind. Maybe I can sneak some in this weekend or something. We'll see. Randy's saying, I said that day 1 trade be the starter all year, never lose the gig, and they trade Brock next year. That's my bold take. Stranger things have happened. I mean, we definitely drafted Brock to be a backup, so it'd be nice if Trey plays well enough to make him one. I think it's unlikely, but possible. It's possible. Never know. He's saying Brock has a cheaper. Yeah, he's only about $1 million a year compared to Trey's about $9 million. Purdy contract doesn't affect our cap. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I guess some of those.
What is it, like less than $1 million? It's like 950,000, 800 something. Like it's pretty low.
Ryan says, "What will we do without Jackhammer?" Ryan was getting on him pretty mercilessly on the timeline.
I love it.
It was like sharks with blood in the water. Ryan was having a little feeding frenzy. This guy says,
"That's how it should be, though. If you're going to attack the low guy on the totem pole for his outrageous hater takes because his channel isn't doing good, you got to go after the big guys too. That's how it works."
There you go. Randy says that Residency has the cursive SF. That's the one I was looking for.
What did you get it from, like Fanatics or something? Did you order it or somewhere else? I don't know.
No. It's called Residency is the name. They're like a lot of the people are sponsored. A lot of the content creators are sponsored by Residency. Yeah, I mean, I have the Fanatic sponsorship. It's different companies. They're more stylized Residency. I don't think they have as broad an offering either, but a lot of people seem to like it. And hey, if it sells, sell it. Why not? Randy says fake Rudy. I guess this isn't the real Rudy Ramilia. It's hard to tell. We don't have Beto here to have him text him to verify his identity.
Yeah, they did that to me the other day. They're like, let's see if it's really
two-factor Ramilia authentication into the chat. What is the basis of the negative Trey vibe? Well, some people didn't like that he was from a small school. Some people didn't like in a small conference, 1AA. Some people didn't like that he didn't have much experience. Some people don't like other things that have nothing to do with football or, what he does on the field. There's off-field bias. So I hate to see that. But in arguing with some of those people, it becomes clear they have no real football reason for it. It's just a hatred due to predetermined bias, which sucks to watch, no doubt about it. I think Draymond Green gets a lot of that too, to be honest.
He's played 4 games in the NFL, right? Yep. And then people are writing him off. Purdy's played what, 8?
Yep.
8, and he's the GOAT. Like, I don't understand these extreme takes of like crowning somebody as the guy or not the guy based on such a small sample size. But you're right. It's predetermined bias. People are looking to judge somebody before they even step on the field because of what the Niners gave up to draft him. And they're just hoping to be right because then if they're right, they got a receipt. And that's really what it is. It's not even about sports a lot of times. It's about people with receipts and throwing stuff back in other people's faces, saying like, hey, see, I told you, I called it. And it's like, wow, well, do you want a cookie? Like, what do you expect? Like, great, you were right. But now that's bad for the Niners. Why are you happy about this? You're like, I don't get it.
I don't either. No doubt about it. Although I guess I did it with Jimmy G, so I guess
everybody did.
On that.
We all
Trey's just a young man who's still learning. Exactly.
Yeah.
Joe is the guy, and unfortunately, I haven't got close since. I mean, Steve Young was definitely close, maybe even more talented. He just didn't have as good of a team around him when the salary cap kicked in and picking late in every round for many years in a row kicked in. But Steve Young was a hell of a quarterback too. But between the two of them, we got spoiled, and that's why a lot of guys, no matter what they do as Niner quarterbacks, there'll always be some hatred for them because they're not Steve or Joe, unless we get the next Mahomes or something like that. That's about the only way.
Yeah, that's the only way you'd have to win a championship. That's kind of that's the only way you can get into that conversation and be loved and just put on a pedestal. You got to win a championship, and no one has. So,
got to take 6.
Yeah, we got to take 6, man. We still haven't done it. It's been a long time.
So we're not trading Lance. Are we trading Ayuk, Mitchell, or Kinlaw?
So I had a stream with Raj, and we talked about exactly this. And I told him, I was like, man, we're checking in on all these like receivers, you know what I mean? And like, people are connecting us to Mingo and all these other guys. And like the Niners have had visits. And I said this, I'm just getting this really weird vibe that the Niners might move on from Brandon Ayuk because he would garner a lot of I would assume he would get a first round pick thrown back at the Niners, maybe other stuff too. And then if the Niners get overwhelmed by a big package, big haul, pause. If they get blown over by something and they can draft, somebody, say they got 2 first round picks. Don't draft the receiver with that first one, but maybe drop back into the bottom of the first round and go grab a guy. It's tough though, because man, you look at this roster right now, and it would be so loaded, and I would hate to see him go because I feel like he still hasn't tapped the potential of what he could be in the NFL if he had a legit quarterback all the time, same guy every game. But I don't know. I've gotten a weird feeling. You look at the league, how it works. You kind of have to go and build your roster with like you have guys aging out, so you have to somehow replenish while guys are still on the team, and that's how you stay ahead of essentially what's gone on with the Rams, where they have nothing coming in because they blew their wad on everything now. And that was great. They got the chip, but now their team's going to suffer because they really don't have a ton of talent. Where the Niners kind of go for the long game, where they try to build their team through the draft, re-sign their own guys, and always be looking forward. Always people just say, "Oh, they keep drafting running backs, or they keep drafting this position." And it's like you have to, because NFL careers are short. You don't know how long someone's going to be here. And then, of course, the salary cap. So I think it's not probable, but it's definitely something that's crossed my mind for sure.
Yeah, I hope we don't trade Ayuk because I think he's really good. I think he's underrated. I think that his fifth-year option is worrying some people, but if we just extend him and pay him a vet minimum and, fifth or fourth of his signing bonus in 2024, I think that'll make it manageable, $6 or $8 million off that 14. And I just honestly, if Lance does get to play, I want to see him with as close to the same accoutrement or surrounding cast as what Purdy had, so we can make a better comparison. Because if you stick Lance in there and he's got a crappy right tackle and a crappy WR2, or in this case, a lot of people think Ayuk's WR1 and Debo's R2, but a crappy receiver to go across from Debo, it's really hard to make a comparison at that point. And so if Lance does worse, is it because Lance is worse, or is it because the guys around him are not as good? And so the selfish part of me just wants apples to apples so we can make a fair comparison between the two guys. As far as like Mitchell, I think he's tradable, and I think we could get something for him. So I wouldn't be surprised to see us trade Elijah Mitchell. I really like him. He's a stud when he plays. He just doesn't play enough. Luckily, he hasn't had any major injuries, so maybe he can overcome it and not miss so many games. There's no injuries that he's had that, to me, lead me to believe that they'll lead to other injuries. But he's had a lot of different little injuries, including MCLs in both legs in 2022. And then Kinlaw, I think we would trade him if we could, but I don't think anybody like Lance. I don't think we'll get enough in return to justify trading that much talent with that much dead cap away.
I think we'll end up seeing him this year as a rotational piece. I mean, people are like, "Well, what about Kinlaw?" They signed Hargrave to replace him. That's what they did. Hargrave is because Kinlaw has not delivered. He's been hurt, and when he's played, he's solid at best, but he doesn't do anything particularly overwhelmingly well where you say, yeah, this guy's definitely going to get his fifth-year option picked up.
Especially not pass rush, which we hoped would improve. That really hasn't yet. So,
I mean, the Niners did the same thing when they bombed on Reuben Foster. They went and freaking signed Quan Alexander. He barely played. He was hurt all the time too, but he was pretty good, I guess, for the time that he was here. But
I think he helped. I think he helped Fred too a little bit.
I definitely think he helped Fred.
And Dre Greenlaw, wasn't Dre?
He helped Fred like Takeo helped 52. What the hell is his name?
Willis.
Patrick Willis. You remember when Patrick Willis first started, it was Takeo Spikes in the middle with him.
Yeah.
Or Navarro Bowman came, and I think that was very influential in his career, and it helped him a great deal. You could bring these guys in, and they don't have to. I think Fred Warner came in with having to do a lot of work. Quickly.
Quan Alexander helped steal the name Hot Boys for us, so there's that.
Yeah, there's that. But he was always hurt. So
Yeah, no, he was. I mean, he played those first 8 games. The defense was on a historic tear, but then he tore his pec and was out the second half of the season and most of the playoffs. Then he was going to come back for the Super Bowl, and he tore his bicep practicing right before the Super Bowl, and he was a basket case in the Super Bowl. Him and Sherm and maybe Mosley were all real liabilities on defense in the Super Bowl. It's a shame.
Yeah, it was funny because he tore it in practice, and they had video of it, which was funny.
Yeah, Grant Cohn posted it, and the Niners called him and said, "Take that down," and he did. So yeah, it was crazy. It was really wild that Grant caught it, and they're like, "No, thou shalt take it down if you want to keep
recording." Not, like what? And he played horrible in the Super Bowl. He couldn't tackle.
Oh, he was terrible. He got juked to death on the sidelines there in the mid-range. Damian Williams or whoever the KC running back was just made him look silly. Randy Turner says Niner QBs have enormous cleats to fill. Pressure must be a lot. Absolutely.
Oh, absolutely. It's like going to play in Chicago.
David McNew in the house. Go 49ers. Lambs are garbage juice. Yeah, they are.
Garbage cheese?
At least for one more
garbage
season.
Juice. I'm on my phone. I can't see well. I thought he said garbage.
Don't worry. I'll read them out. It's fine. He also said, Randy. Oh, they're saying hi. Cool. Everybody's just saying hi, saying bebop aloha. Cool. So, what about Adam Peters to the Texans? What do you think about that?
It's another one of those things where it has some legs. And makes sense because of D'Amico being there. And, if you want to trade Trey Lance there, you'd trade Adam Peters, and it would be 49ers, South, I guess, whatever, AFC South. But he's been so influential in the building of the roster since they got here. A lot of people credit John Lynch, but I really think the credit needs to go to Adam Peters and maybe even Rand Carthon, who is here, who no longer is, for building this roster and finding these late round guys. These stalwarts, these guys that we depend on so much that we're all, some of them are mid round players. That's all on Adam Peters and scouts and those guys. And I'm not saying that John Lynch has zero influence, but John Lynch to me is Carmen Policy from the 80s. He's essentially a mouthpiece. He keeps everybody from not killing each other. You know what I mean? But John McVay was the one responsible for building that roster behind the scenes in the 80s. Just like Adam Peters is now. It would be an astronomical, completely just horrible move to let him go. You overpay and keep him here, and you promote him. I don't care what you have to do. Make up a position. Keep him in the building.
Now that Parag's involved with Leeds United, the soccer team, I mean, there's no way he's going to do both jobs at once. So
why not make Lynch president and make
Peters GM?
And make Peters the GM, and then boom, you have him in the building. I think that would be go ahead.
No, I was going to say, because people said that Caserio denied it, but did he? I mean, he kind of did, but he kind of said something like, "Oh, we haven't had talks," or "No, it's not going to happen." He said, "Oh, talks haven't been to that level," or something along those lines. Like, yeah, there were talks, but he's kind of leaving the door open, if you ask me.
Well, but I think it would be an astronomical dumb move by the 49ers. That'll be a good way to end a run of drafting well. All of a sudden, man, the Niners can't draft anymore. Oh, wow. They used to be so good at all these mid-round picks. Now they suck. Mm-hmm. And then we'd go back to
I was already worried about Rand Carthon, and Adam Peters would be a much bigger blow. So,
oh, absolutely. And I don't think some fans understand it because they're more just about X's and O's on the field. They like watching football. They don't really understand the influence of stuff that goes on behind the scenes and how important it is to the franchise. It's like any other business. If you have strong leadership that does its job and takes care of the people underneath, and you have a well-oiled machine that everybody, for the most part gets along. When you have crappy management and people you can't, it's the same thing. You don't have a successful company.
And it takes a while to see how draft picks pan out, so that's part of it. And part of it is ultimately it's all, kind of guesses and hunches and intuitions. I mean, we hear things like that make us believe that, but ultimately we don't know whose pick was who by who. It's a group effort, and there's just a strong suspicion among the people that are really well informed that Adam Peters had a lot to do with a lot of those, mid to late round picks, which is what has really set us apart compared to, we've done okay in our early round picks, but it's the late round ones that have made this team a juggernaut.
Yeah, I mean, you just look at Kittle, you look at Greenlaw, you look at Warner as a third round pick.
DJ Jones, DJ Reed.
Jones when he was here. The safety,
Lenore.
yeah. So, I mean, these are all day 2 guys, day 3 guys. And Juwan Jennings, a 7th round pick.
Out there, Burford in there. Plus, then you got to think about all the UDFAs too. People talk about the draft picks, but there's so many undrafted free agents that we've done well with too.
Mostert's coming here.
Breida, Jeff Wilson Jr., Elijah Mitchell. I mean, I would say even Dwelly's been a 6th round pick, undrafted free agent.
Right.
Yeah. No doubt about it. It's good. Brunskill was undrafted.
Yep.
Out of the USFL, or
played some serious, important snaps for us, playoff snaps. Big time win on the road snaps. People. I know, like I said, I know fans just want to be.
Emmanuel Mosley was a undrafted free agent too.
Man, that's one guy I wish we could have kept this offseason.
Wasn't Aziz Al-Shire was too? Another
Aziz Al-Shire, yeah. I was telling my brother, I was like, and I know I bring my brother up all the time for when I stream, but I told him, I said, 2 names to look for. My nephew was sitting here the other day too. He's a big Niners fan, but he's not. I mean, I'm pretty hardcore. I told my nephew, my brother, 2 names to watch for. I said, book it. Marcelino McCrary Ball, and who's the other one that I said? And I was like, book it. I said, I bet you McCrary Ball will be talked about between like mid-season, late season, that the Niners somehow found another. What's that? And
Womack?
I don't know if it was Womack. It was somebody else that I was hoping to have. Drake Jackson, maybe. Gray. Like Drake Jackson would have his come up at, he would turn the corner. But yeah, I was just talking. I was like, told my nephew, I was like, keep your eyes out for Marcelino McCrary Ball to be as good, if not better, than Aziz Al-Shire. I said, the thing with Aziz, I told him, I was like, Aziz wasn't expected to play because we don't play a lot of base D. We play so much nickel. So, like the thing with losing Emmanuel Mosley, you can't pay that much money to a guy that essentially the last 2 years has been just completely banged up. You know what I mean? Like you just can't. You can't invest.
He never played a full season, so
right. And that's and listen, that's why some guys fall to where they are, whether in the draft or undrafted free agency. Like, I mean, you could even say that about Purdy. Like Purdy was the last round pick, but what were some of the concerns? Size, right? Durability. He got whacked a couple times this past season when he was playing. So, I mean, those concerns definitely are warranted. So, some teams just stay away from certain guys that are certain sizes or whatever the reasons are. They just stick away. They stay away. They take guys off draft boards that don't fit a certain whatever. And sometimes these concerns are stupid and we end up finding out that, like a Tom Brady, for instance, like he stuck it in everybody's face. I mean, yeah, he was immobile as hell and was super unathletic, but he was an amazing quarterback. So, sometimes the concerns are they're legit. And then you see him down the road, like guys just, man, he's a really good player, but he can't. And then ... There's like something going on with him, whether it's health wise or something he does on the field that, is a reason why guys were concerned, maybe size wise, he gets bodied by bigger guys, things like that. So I'm not like Peters to me is a low key concern of mine. I'm not gonna front. A lot of people are like, I don't want to be. I'm not concerned about it at all. I'm like, should be.
Yeah,
they can't lose him. Are you kidding me? Like,
Niners do a really good job of backfilling him, but we've never backfilled somebody of that caliber. since Kyle's been here.
Yeah, the Niners. The reason the Niners could be good for a long time, even after this core of players move on, in the next 3 to 5 years, is you just got to keep drafting well. As long as you keep drafting well and you pay a little here and there in free agency, you can sustain it for a long. I mean, are you going to be as good? I mean, Kansas City's not going to be great everywhere on their team forever, but they got the best quarterback in the NFL. But like, if you could somehow keep your team somewhat respectable and competitive with the roster, you never know. I mean, the Niners have one of the best teams in the NFL, and they haven't won it. And there's teams that get into the Super Bowl that maybe aren't as talented as the 49ers and somehow get there. So it's not always a guarantee that you have the most talented roster that you're going to get there, and it's always not a guarantee. And it's not a guarantee that maybe you're a step below the 49ers talent-wise, and you're actually a better fit down the road in the playoffs. So the Niners just got to keep themselves, as time goes on, they can keep a guy like Peters, just keep backfilling that roster, man, year by year, and you'll always be in it.
No accounting for luck, that's for sure. Taryn Lewis says, Ted, stay working. Thanks, Taryn. Appreciate that. Flanagan Fowles was undrafted too. That's a good one for sure.
Good one. Thank you.
And the linebackers, will the linebackers develop as well without D'Amico Ryans and the coaching staff? That's a little bit of a concern, but we still have Johnny Hollins, I think, is the one who really develops them. At least since D'Amico's been the DC, I don't think he has time to.
Yeah, we have all three levels are good. We got Johnny Holland, we have Chris Kasarik, and now we have the former
Steve Wilkes.
I think the Niners, all three levels, are going to be okay this year. Listen, who's the Niners, Ted, besides the Kansas City Chiefs? Who's the Niners' biggest issue and opponent?
Eagles.
It's their health.
Oh, health, right? True.
They have the Niners have they can do anything they want this year if they're healthy. They're that good, roster wise. They're that good. They can get another edge guy in the draft who can get 10+ sacks off the other side, and then you rotate all those other guys underneath, and you have this like super awesome rotation, and then you have Hargrave and Bosa on the other side. Big time, man. But it's all about health, man. That's the sucky part, is the Niners relatively last year, other than a couple big injuries, were really healthy until the playoff game, and then they lost their quarterbacks. It was I think that's why a lot of the players have like a big chip on their shoulder, is like, they didn't lose. We got screwed. We got hurt. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? That team, listen, I'm not saying they would have beat Kansas City, but I don't know, man. It would have been an interesting Super Bowl. I don't know if Purdy could have gone throw for throw, but it would have definitely been fun to find out if he could,
And I think our defense is better than the Eagles' defense, especially against the run. So
you do, but
Pacheco kind of went nuts in that game.
Mahomes is so good, though, man. It's like the Niners. The Niners just have to score touchdowns every single time they have the ball. And maybe
hi to Mariah.
Hi, Mariah. How you doing? I'm on my phone.
Hopefully. Giving us a couple waves and a couple of fist bumps.
Hey.
Yeah, Aaron had some technical difficulties with his USB ports on his Mac,
and they're still not working. I was testing them while I was talking to you. Nope, still not working.
Oh man. Well, I'm glad we got to talk anyway. We don't always have to be on camera. Not the end of the world. It's just good to catch up, especially after a long hiatus. I was like, oh man, I got to wait another week to talk to Aaron. I don't know. What am I going to do?
I was like, I kept doing it. I kept putting it off. I'm like, should I go on camera? No, I'm gonna fix this. I'm gonna fix this. And it wasn't, and it still has. And this is the worst it's ever got. There's a little bit of a glitch when you unplug stuff. The computer, like, I don't know. It's almost like if you unplug it while it's running, and then you try to get it to work down the road. I don't know. It's like I glitched my computer out, and I have no way of trying to figure out how to reset it. I've already reset it like 5, 6, 8, 10 times. So
brutal. Time to call tech support.
I might have to get a new MacBook.
Geek Squad. I know that's the way of planned obsolescence. It's just sort of like, oh yeah, we're expecting you to upgrade a year or two ago. Where you been?
Where you been? You need to spend another $1,400 on a MacBook. That's only going to last you 3 years.
No doubt about it. So, Aaron, 1 week till the draft. You mentioned defensive end. What are your other draft priorities?
I think the 49ers' biggest draft priority is offensive tackle. Is the biggest priority. It's just a matter of, are the Niners willing to spend draft capital maybe from this year and next year, and or a player to move up into the top 2 rounds, back half of the second? Do the Niners do something ridiculous this year and go trade up into the first round and go get like a stud starter that's going to be, either an offensive tackle or an edge guy? Like, to me, the priorities for the 3 picks that I want in no particular order, and I did this on the NWO show, and I also did it with Raj. Mine is edge, O tackle, and tight end. Those are my 3. And I would be happy.
I might throw in. Safety.
Safety. I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah, no, I'm with you 100%. Tackle, tight end who can block and catch. Like, I think there's one out of Oklahoma that people like, and edge and safety. Yeah, so we need an heir apparent for Gibson, and also we lost Jimmy Ward. We just need more depth in the safety room because it's just basically Odom and Hufanga and Gibson right now. We definitely need a 4th. Unless it's going to be Quantrez Knight or that other one, Taylor Hawkins, something Ball Hawkins, I called him.
It's funny that you say those guys because I forgot where they were at a soccer game or somewhere, and they had like Flanagan Fowles, Kinlaw, all these like either guys that are going to pop off hopefully in their second year, or now with Kinlaw, rotational defense. They were. I don't know where they were at. I don't know if it was a basketball game. I don't think it was a basketball game. It had to be a soccer game somewhere. I don't know where it was. And I'm just like, hey, there's Quantrez Knight. Hey, there's Flanagan Falls. Hey, there's Marcelino McCrary Ball. Like, sweet. Hopefully they can make it to the season without getting hurt, screwing around at a soccer game or something. Like, Kinlaw might hurt his knee going up the stairs, and we might have to put him on the PUP list before the season starts. So.
Oh man, you're not joking.
Well, people think I'm a hater of Kinlaw. I just don't like him. I don't like his personality, and I just don't like the fact that, like, they maybe it's not him. Maybe it's the Niners. The fact that they like essentially thought they were going to go pick for player, like, and it just didn't work. And if they were to do that, say with a guy like Ayuk, where like they trade, that'd be the dumbest move ever. Just pay the guy or figure out a way to pay him. Like, don't do that. That's a good way to piss off these base.
For both from San Fran. I'm in Mid Peninsula, and Aaron's Rochester, New York.
Yeah, I'm in New York, baby. I'm as northeast as you can get. Tomorrow it's supposed to be 78 degrees. Today it's 50.
And you did get asking why no cam, because Aaron's laptop wasn't working, so he logged on from his phone. But also, I got to run. I got a call here at 4:15. So let's do this again. We will do it again. So we'll be back next Wednesday at 3:30. We can go back to our regular time. You think?
Yep, absolutely.
All right, 3:30 Pacific, 6:30 Eastern. I'll say peace. Go Niners. And thanks everybody who came in. And Aaron, thanks for coming back. We've been missing you.
No problem. Everyone have a great one. We'll see you guys next week.
Cheers, everybody. Bye-bye.